Sue Cowley, a former teacher and author of Getting the Buggers to Behave, is here to offer some no-nonsense advice on how to handle those difficult days in the classroom. She demystifies all the behaviour management theory and has come up with a common-sense practical guide full of tips and strategies based on her own experience in the classroom. This programme will contain some dramatised scenes.
Kids need to let off steam, but once the bell goes here, the children know exactly what's expected because it's in the rules. Today I'm going to be laying down the law on school rules and regulations. We'll see how a good set of rules can help create peace and harmony, but a badly drawn up set of rules can lead to chaos and confusion.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mrs. Wills. Good morning, everyone.
Now, the theme for our assembly this week is not following the crowd. So I was thinking, when I was planning what I was going to say this morning, we need some new school rules. No chewing gum, no sweets of any kind, no skipping in the corridors, do not walk or play on the flower beds, do not drop any paper on the floor. Footballs must only be played with on the football pitch. Do not sit on the seats in the library. Do not talk to other children on your table at dinner time. No hairdressing or messing with your hair in the classrooms. And I haven't finished yet. Do not tap your pencil. Do not shout out. Do not scrape your chair when sitting down. Always use a handkerchief, not your sleeve. Do not bend the pages in your books. Do not tell the teacher when the lesson has ended. And finally, do not call me sir.
In reality, head teacher Pip Wilkes operates a very simple and effective set of rules here at Summerfield Primary in Winson Green, Birmingham. She's been teaching for over 30 years and she's learned that too many silly, pointless rules are almost impossible to enforce and that they can create more problems than they solve. So Pip, you were having a bit of fun there in the hall, but can you tell me about the rules that you actually do have?
Right, well, we actually have 4 school rules.
Right.
We've tried to do them in a positive way, so that the children say, I will do this, I will do that, rather than do not do this, do not do that. We talked it through, and then basically we had a lot of drafts, and we put them out to the children, we talked to them, and in circle times in the classrooms, we have the 4 main rules, and then following the rules that they devise themselves with their own class teachers, the whole lot sort of came together and evolved into something that we're all really happy with.
I think they work very well here because we've only got 4 school rules that everyone in the whole school will know, right down from nursery up to year 6. We've also got 3 class rules that my class know and also my numeracy group know, and they're aware that when they come to this classroom what those rules are.
At the beginning of every year, they will sit down in their classes in circle time and actually choose 3 or possibly 4 rules of their own choice for their own particular class that they really want.
Now we know what our school rules are, so let's think about what rules will be really good in our classroom that's very special to our class and anyone who comes into our room. What would make a good rule for our classroom?
It would be good keeping our classroom tidy.
Yeah, I really like that rule. Javid, can you think of another rule for our classroom?
Respect others and yourself.
So respect ourselves and
Others?
And others. Right, we've got 2 really good class rules there. Can anyone think of another one? Yep. What do you think?
Listen to the teacher when they're talking.
Listen to the teacher when they're talking. Well done.
I've got one. Do your best work.
Do your best work. Oh, I like that one. Do your best work. Patching on. I'm talking.
Mrs. Dennis, they're a great class, aren't they? Can I share a suggestion that somebody once gave to me which I think works really well? And what you do is you have these cards red, orange and green, like a traffic light system. Now, when a child's doing exactly as you wish, so our respect rule. Now, you've been listening brilliantly, so I'm going to give you a green card which says, great, keep on doing exactly what you're doing. But, of course, you were having a chat, weren't you, while Mrs Dennis was trying to talk. Now, I'm not going to give you the red card straight away, but your teacher might just slip you that and just go like this. And that just reminds you that what you're doing is not being very respectful. And if a red card comes your way and you're still not respecting, you're in big trouble.
We have actually done them so that it's I will do that. So they can do them, they can achieve them, and there's not going to be a constant negative approach, and to give the children ownership.
Yes.
We will keep our hands, feet and other objects to ourselves. We will call everybody by their given names. We will do as we are asked the first time. We will walk around school without disturbing others.
You know, it's really important that the rules are displayed everywhere. These rules work really well here because they're short, they're realistic and they're achievable. They're also phrased in a positive way. Unlike some schools where there's a huge long list of rules, including the length of your skirt, the colour of your hair and so on and on and on. A really good thing here is that the children feel they have ownership of their rules. At Summerfield, the children have their own playground police who can swoop once there's been any infringement of the school rules.
Oopsie, I made a mistake.
Every single game you cheat all the time.
I just said I made a mistake. I just said I just made a mistake. No, you talk to her. Look at your grease hair. Yeah, look at your grease hair. It's full of oil coming out forever. I just don't want to play no more. I don't want to play no more.
And you forgot one now.
This row over a game of cards is resolved with a session of peer group mediation.
The mediator's rules are speak one at a time without interrupting each other, speak with respect and don't blame each other.
We have some mediator's promises as well. We will not take sides, we will not gossip, we will not tell you what to do.
What's the problem?
Was playing cards and I accidentally picked up 2 cards instead of 1. But when I realised I haven't, and we've been saying that I've cheated, I said...
It's all part of the school's philosophy of involving the children in the making and application of the rules.
And I'm telling them that I haven't cheated, I just made a mistake.
Is your part of the story? We're playing cards, yeah.
I always feel that school rules should apply to the particular circumstances of that school. How does that apply here at Summerfield?
We were built as an open plan school, so obviously there is a lot of movement and you have to walk through classrooms to get to other classrooms, and the children are very, very good. They will walk through and they'll probably have a good look to see what's going on, but they don't usually interrupt or interfere, and that means that lessons can carry on.
In addition to Summerfield's 4 basic rules, there are always a few extra do's and don'ts that evolve with current fashion and fads. How about chewing gum, mobile phones? How do you deal with things like that?
Well, mobile phones are not encouraged, but we do understand that some of the parents will want their children to have them, especially if they're travelling home on their own in these darker nights. So the children, they bring them into school, but they bring them to my office, and then we keep them safely locked away during the day, and then they just come and collect them at the end of the day. Chewing gum,
the dreaded chewing gum.
Dreaded chewing gum.
The most unpopular rule is no sweets, and particularly no chewing gum.
If you eat in school, you'll get in trouble, and if you stick it on the floor, then you could get in trouble.
I would imagine the no sweets and eating in school is the most unpopular.
If you then just stick it somewhere, and then some person might have his dinner or something, and then by accident they put it, and when it comes out, it's sticky and all of that, gooey. People stick it on their tables and chairs and that.
Yeah, you know what?
And
then it gets on my legs or my clothes.
And you're sticking your hand in the chair to hold it, and then it gets all over your fingers, and you're trying to see, what's that gooey thing under the chair?
The rule they break the most often is things like, chewing gum and having sweets in school, which, it's not the biggest crime of the century. But for hygiene and things like that, it's important that they don't eat those.
We say no chewing gum. The children themselves have seen the problems that chewing gum can create. You sit on a bit of chewing gum, your clothes are ruined. And our children are very proud of their school uniform, and they don't want to get things ruined. They don't want to get sticky floors and things like that. So it's again, the chewing gum has evolved as an unwritten an unwritten rule.
And how about uniform? You picked up on uniform there. How does that work?
We have just introduced a uniform into school with the support of the parents and the governors, and it's had a wonderful effect. The children are very proud of their uniform, and we've noticed they're very calm, very much calmer atmosphere around the school, and they're showing a pride in their work.
And why do you think that happens?
Because they're actually coming to school, they're dressing in the morning, they're coming in uniform. It's the same as you or I. If I come into work in jeans and trainers, I don't feel ready for work.
Yeah.
If I come in my work clothes, I feel ready to come in and take on the role of head teacher.
Yeah. So any sort of seasonal issues? Is there anything that might have to be banned in the near future?
Well, hopefully we won't have to ban conkers this year. In the past, we have had to say no conkers because they can be used as offensive weapons. This year, the children are being very sensible, and they're not actually into the conker. They just want to collect them and count them and roll them. They're using them as marbles this year.
And what would you think of a teacher if they just let you break one of the rules or even all of the rules? So what would you think about that teacher?
Very kind teacher.
What would happen in your class though if the teacher let everybody just get away with breaking
Every
all the
day.
rules?
The teacher would get fired, sacked.
The teacher get the sack, but what would happen to the class? What do you think would happen?
You go all mad and everyone just start jumping up and down, not listening, and then nobody would listen to what's going on.
That's right, and then nobody would learn anything, which is why you're at school.
I think the schools that ban lots of things create problems because the children just can't remember the rules and get a little bit confused. And they're also very negative, and it's much better to have a positive environment where children respect each other, so the rules are positive.
The worst thing you can do is have school rules that are negative. They're things that you try to do, not things that are negative and are banned. It goes wrong when people put things like "we will not run."
They're more likely to go wrong where they perhaps don't understand the rules or the rules are far too complicated for them. Really, the best rules are the ones that are devised by the children that actually fit with their own life in school.
So, here's the Cowley set of rules about rules. Keep them simple. Make them positive. Don't have too many. And involve all the school. These are our school rules. One thing's for sure, school rules always grab the headlines. Recently we've had heads banning conkers, ear piercing, body piercing, kissing and cuddling, long skirts, short skirts, and one that's causing amazement up and down the land, the tucking in of school shirts. Beware, rules made in haste might come back to haunt you. We'll see you next time.